You know, for those who don't know, Billy Martin's mother, her name was Jenny Salvini. She was the daughter of Italian immigrants that grew up in the East Bay in San Francisco. So don't worry about Billy throwing around Dago and Mikey Pags, okay? It's okay. Billy Martin was Italian and a member of the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame. So we miss Billy, and we congratulate Mike Pagliarulo on his achievement here tonight. I told you that was a good Mickey Mantle story, too. Imagine growing up as a Yankee, and then all of a sudden there's Mickey Mantle, there's Joe DiMaggio. We're all in this room because of Joe DiMaggio tonight, quite frankly. He's the ultimate Italian-American baseball player. We've talked a lot about the World Baseball Classic. Well, there's a guy here tonight that has got his hands all over the WBC. The man who is the SVP of MLB International. He's got deep Italian roots. His name is Jim Small, but his family once went by Piccolo over at Ellis Island. Their name was changed, but Jim Small has certainly left his mark on Major League Baseball. He's responsible for growing the brand and development globally, planning the international play schedule, generating new opportunities to grow the sport, and of course, overseeing the highly popular World Baseball Classic, which will be returning this March. Jim Small leads the league's 4 international offices and coordinates their efforts with MLB's global media, sponsorship, and consumer products department. Prior to his current role, he was involved with MLB Asia and the Pacific business based in Tokyo. Of course, baseball has grown exponentially in Japan, including Major League Baseball playing games in Asia starting as early as 2000. A veteran of more than 35 years in the sports marketing industry, he's been a part of, I should say, the Royals, the Cubs, and the Rangers organizations, and for a long time, now part of Major League Baseball. To introduce Jim Small, we bring up longtime MLB International consultant and FIBS coach, Dan Bonano.
That's a pretty tough act to follow, especially with my Wisconsin accent, so I'm going to try to get through this here. Signore e signori, buonasera. I'd like to thank the Italian American Baseball Foundation for the privilege to introduce this year's IABF Executive of the Year honoree. I've known Jim Small for over 20 years, and during that time, I've had the privilege to work with Jim on certain MLB projects. A longtime MLB executive, Jim was named Senior Vice President International in February 2019. In his current role, Jim's responsibilities include the growth and development of MLB's brand globally, the planning of MLB's international play schedule, the creation of new international opportunities to grow the sport's popularity, creating and nurturing a talent pipeline in key markets, and overseeing the World Baseball Classic. Jim leads the league's 4 international offices and coordinates their efforts with MLB's global media, sponsorship, and consumer products departments. Jim is a true asset to MLB and to international baseball. Prior to his current role, Jim spent 16 years running MLB's Asia Pacific business based in Tokyo. Over that time, MLB saw a 400% increase in the value of its media rights in Japan. Under his watch, MLB also played regular season and exhibition baseball games in various cities in Japan and Taiwan, as well as in Seoul, South Korea, and Sydney, Australia. In China, Jim was instrumental in establishing a business there that boasts more than 30 million unique program participants. The regular broadcasting of MLB games across terrestrial, satellite, and digital platforms, while reaching almost 1 billion viewers, and the development of local Chinese professional baseball players. That's a truly remarkable feat. Yes, it is. A veteran of more than 35 years in the sports marketing industry, Jim started his career in public relations positions with the Kansas City Royals, the Chicago Cubs, the Texas Rangers, and MLB's New York office. From 1995 to 1998, Jim held a variety of global marketing positions at Nike, primarily focused on the country's soccer brand. In his preparation for the 2020 Olympic Games, Jim has also served as an advisor to the Japanese government's Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, and also served on the board of the General Sports Authority of Saudi Arabia. Besides his vast experience in the sports marketing industry, Jim is also a member of the Italian-American community, as Jim's paternal grandfather, Giacomo Piccolo, was born in Bianco, Reggio Calabria. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 2022 IABF Executive of the Year, Mr. Jim Small. Now I do need a high ball. I know.
Danny, thank you. The one thing that I regret is having to follow Dom and Mike, because I have none of the stories that are going to come close to those that you told. As was said earlier, I'm a proud Italian American. My grandfather came from Calabria. He came to Ellis Island, and we don't know if it was a joke or if it was intentional, but they changed his name from Giovanni Piccolo to John Small, which was great for him because he wanted to live an American life. And so he left Ellis Island, he went to Astoria, Queens, and started to live his American life. He worked for the railroad. He ended up in Ohio. He married an American woman and kept the dream of his American life alive. Interestingly, they were both off the boat. He was off the boat Italian. She was off the boat Mayflower. She had descendants coming off the Mayflower. And what they did is they gave us my dad and my aunt a blended home. And so in that home, there were differences of opinions and differences of cultures that came together. And it's not lost on me that I've been able to, for the past 24 plus years, been able to do the same thing in baseball, and to bring both sides of people that love baseball so much together, through this great game of ours. There's a lot of people in this room that I've known for a long time. I remember Tom and Michael when you were writers, so that's how long we go back. Alan Nero, a good friend. I got, Don Balsamo, who's probably one of the only other people here who's worked through every World Baseball Classic. So I'm honored to be able to be a part of this. I'm really honored, Joe, to be able to work with you and Chris and Carmine for the great work that you do. We appreciate it, and I've been fortunate enough to work in baseball around the world, but nothing's more special than working with Italian American baseball. So thank you so much.
Jim.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. That is awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks,
I got the
guys.
box for you.
Okay, all right, great.
One more hand for our Executive of the Year, Jim Small. Don't forget about the silent auction. We're going to take a break for dinner. Still to come, Michael Kay and Mike Piazza. So don't go anywhere. And as my grandmother would say, buon appetito, mangia, mangia.